So I've bought all 5 of these with my own money, and at the end of this video I am going to be sending 4 of them back and keeping only the one with the highest score in this side-by-side comparison. So here are the top 5 headsets that seem to be mentioned the most when looking for the best headset for PS5. Number 1, we have the official Sony PlayStation Pulse 3D headset. Contender number 2 is the Astro TR A40. Next up is the Steelseries Arctis 7P Plus. And then we have the Razer Blackshark V2 Pro, followed by the Turtlebeach Stealth 600 Gen 2 Max. So here's how we're going to figure out which one of these is truly the best PS5 headset. There are 5 headphones, so I've got 5 different categories, and in each category I'm going to give them a score out of 10. So category 1 is style, category 2 is comfort, 3 is usability, 4 is sound quality, and 5 is going to probably be the most interesting for you because it's going to be a blind test. I'm actually going to be using the mics on the console whilst playing a game and actually getting the person I'm playing the game with to score the mics without actually knowing which one is which, and that could be the make or break for some of these when it comes to that final score. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video for that. And before we get into it, let me just say, if you get any kind of value out of this video at all, a thumbs up and a subscribe would be legendary. Anyway, let's get into it. So I've been using all of these headsets for the past 2 weeks, and one thing that I really like about the style of the Pulse 3D is the way it matches the console. It perfectly matches the styling of the PS5 and the controller. It looks futuristic, it's clean, it's minimalistic. The size overall is quite compact compared to the others, and the build quality itself feels very rigid. One thing I will say about the design choice here from Sony, which I think could have been better, especially when you compare it to the Sony 1000 XM4s, is the ear cups aren't quite as soft as those. And maybe they've done that for a reason, because they want it to be more hard wearing, I'm not sure. But anyway, when it comes to style, I've got to give the Sonys a 9 out of 10 because they do match the console absolutely perfectly. Okay, now the Astro TR A40. We've got a slightly retro design here. I do like the Optimus Prime adjustments here on the hangers. Those look really cool. I must say I'm not a big fan of the shiny plastic ear cups. I know they do some special editions where they put different logos on there and stuff like that, but shiny plastic to me is a fingerprint magnet, and it's also very prone to scratching, so it loses a few points there for that. I do like the wide headband and the mic arm, and it's quite flexible as well. But when it comes to style though, I would give them 7.5 out of 10. Now the Steelseries Arctis 7P Plus. Now these are clearly the closest to the PlayStation 5 design after the official headset itself. But what I really do like about these is the fact that they've added a bit of blue in there, which is kind of a throwback to the PS2. If you're old school like me, you'll appreciate that. I like the matte finish on the ear cups. They do look modern. The styling is very sort of sporty almost. It's got a steel frame as well, so that's nice to see. And I love the extendable mic. It just looks cool as well. Style points, 8.5 out of 10. Okay, now the Razer. At first glance, these look a little bit boring, but on closer inspection, they are kind of slick and they're a little bit retro, which I'm sure some of you gamers out there will appreciate. One thing I did notice about the style and design of these is the hangers appear to be quite fragile. They're very thin. I'm sure they're strong, but when I first saw it, I was a little bit concerned that I might actually break these. Something that I do love about the Blackshark though is the detachable mic, because some of you guys might have a dedicated mic which you use separate from the headset, so you don't necessarily need to have the mic on the headset, and with these ones you can remove it completely. I think that's pretty awesome. Style points, I'm giving these 7 out of 10. Okay, now the TurtleBeach Stealth 600 Gen 2 Max. I'm just going to say it. Straight out of the box, these look a little bit plain and they feel a little bit plasticky. They don't feel as robust as any of the others that I've already showed you. However, they are redeemed by the shape of the ear cups and the breathable material that's used. And something I do like about the style here is the way the mic pivots down and can flick back up and become a seamless part of the headset in a way. And it has some nice print over the fabric inside the ear cups over the drivers. Style points though, because of the cheap construction of these, I've got to give them 6.5 out of 10. All right, category 2, comfort. This is a very important one. If you're gaming a lot for long periods of time, you might value this more than other people. But anyway, this is what I think. On the Pulse 3Ds, They're reasonably lightweight. They do have a slightly tight grip, so you've got that kind of clamping pressure on your head, and there isn't a way to adjust it. But I do believe if you wear these in over time, they will become more comfortable, but at first they're definitely not the most comfortable out of the ones that I have here. And something worth noting about these when it comes to comfort is the ear cups are a lot smaller than the others, so not all of your ears will fit inside comfortably. If you have slightly larger ears, they'll kind of rest on your ears, and that can be quite uncomfortable over longer periods of time. So the Sonys, when it comes to comfort, I'm going to give them 7 out of 10. Astro TR A40s, we've got big ear cups. For people with big ears like me, there's a good amount of adjustments for different head sizes, which is great. We don't have that on the Sonys at all. There's a good amount of soft padding on the ear cups and the headband. The mic arm is lightweight and it doesn't offset the balance of the headphones. Honestly, I think these might be one of the more comfortable that we have here, and that's why I'm giving them 8.5 out of 10. Okay, now the Arctis 7P Plus. Just like the Astros, we have the big ear cups. Your ears will fit fully inside. They are lightweight. They do have a slightly tight grip, but you can adjust the grip with the ski headband strap, which is an interesting way to do it, but it works really well. And the ear cups are actually maybe the most breathable out of the lot. And I've learned this after using all of these for quite a few hours. So I'm impressed with the comfort here on the Arctis 7P Plus. So I've got to give them a solid 8.5 out of 10. Now the Razer Blackshark V2 Pro. Once again, ears fit fully inside the ear cups. They're lightweight. The headband has really nice cushioning. The only downside to these out of the box when they're brand new is the clamping force. Again, there's no way to adjust that, so it does lose a point for that, but apart from that, they're really comfortable. I'm going to give them 8 out of 10. And last but not least, the TurtleBeach Stealth 600 Gen 2 Max. So you might have thought that I'd thrown these under the bus completely when it came to style, but actually the materials used helps when it comes to comfort. So that plastic build makes it maybe lighter than any of the others. I haven't actually weighed them, but they feel lighter. The grip is fairly tight, but the real upside to these is the softness of the ear cups and the breathability there as well. They're very close to the Arctis 7P Plus when it comes to keeping your ears cool during prolonged gaming sessions. I'm gonna give these a 7.5 out of 10. All right, category 3, usability. I'm going to try and fly through this quickly so we can get to the sound and the mic sections. So on the PlayStation Pulse 3D, we do have a USB-A dongle. They can be used wireless or wired into the pad if you want. One thing that bothers me a little bit about the Pulse 3Ds when it comes to the controls is the mute button on the headset overrides the one on the control pad. So you can no longer mute the mic on the control pad. You have to do it with the physical button. The physical button is slightly hard to find, but once you have these for a while, you'll be all right. It does have the monitor functionality as well, which is cool, which means you can mix your own mic into the sound so you can hear how you sound. So you can hear if you're doing like some heavy breathing down the mic, like some kind of serial killer or something like that. So that's all good. And it's worth mentioning there is an exclusive feature here in the sense that it can show the battery life on the dashboard on the PlayStation 5. This is the only headset out of the 5 here that can do that. And when it comes to battery life, it's up to 12 hours. In terms of usability, I'm giving these 7.5 out of 10. Astro TR A40s, these are cable only with the PS5, but the cable provided is really nice quality and it does have an inline mute switch. There are no onboard volume controls though, so that's a bit frustrating. There's also no chat mix either, so you can't hear your own mic. However, they do sell separate, so you can do these things, but you will have to make an additional purchase. Something tells me these are more designed for PC users, but they are marketed for PS5 users as well. And while these do have great potential when it comes to usability, if you buy the extras, when it comes to PlayStation though, I have to give these a 6.5 out of 10. Steelseries Arctis 7P Plus. So the controls take a little while to get used to, but once you get the hang of them, they're not so bad. The only thing that frustrated me a little bit about the user controls here is that when I take the headphones off, I quite often hit the dials and the dials are quite loose, so you can change the volume and the chat mix accidentally quite often if you're taking the headphones on and off frequently. But something that sticks out as truly awesome about these headphones is the mic. So it's a retracting mic, which is fantastic. You can just push it back when you're not using it. But when you mute the mic using the button on board, it lights up red, indicating that it's muted. So you have a visual representation that your mic is muted at that particular time, so you're not broadcasting your personal conversations globally in a gaming lobby. And another little drawback which I should mention is the dongle provided with the Arctis is a USB-C, which is fantastic, but what's not fantastic is when you plug it in to the USB-C port on the PS5, it actually blocks the USB-A port, and Steelseries are aware of this, and that's why they've thrown in an extension cable, which is a USB-A to USB-C cable, so you can plug it in without blocking the port. And something that's unique to the Steelseries is the fact that you can actually plug these in to a PC, customize the EQ, and that's then saved on the headset. So when you go back to your PlayStation, you have your custom EQ set up. That is something special. Now combine that with 30 hours battery life, which is more than double the Pulse 3D. I've got to give these an 8.5 out of 10. Blackshark V2 Pro, out of all of these headphones, these have the best passive noise cancelling. And what I mean by that is when you put these on, you can't hear anything else in the room. They're so closed off. If someone's talking to you and they're standing right next to you, you probably won't hear them if you're playing a game. And that could be a great feature when it comes to usability for some of you. Also, I love the volume dial on these. It's massive, it's easy to find, and also there's a click at the midpoint so you know exactly where 50% volume is. Another awesome feature here is the detachable mic, and when you are using it, it is very flexible as well, so you can get the right position for it, right distance from your mouth. But when you don't need it at all, if you're using an external mic, you can detach it and throw it in a drawer or something. And the buttons on board are easy to find, and the battery life is up to 24 hours. So I'm giving the Razer Blacksharks an 8.5 out of 10. Last up, the TurtleBeach Stealth 600 Gen 2 Max. So the mic arm is physically attached, and when you flick it down, it activates the mic. When you flick it up, it deactivates the mic, and that's a great usability feature. The controls are easy to find as well, they're easy to use. The USB dongle provided is a full-size USB-A with a switch on it, which is specific for Xbox, which raises a question, maybe these sound better on Xbox because they have a dedicated switch, I don't know. But anyway, it's worth noting. Something I really like about the usability of these is when you're not actually using the headphones, the ear cups twist outward and rest nicely on your shoulders. So they're very comfortable when you're using them, but they're also comfortable when you're not using them. And they do have that monitor function as well, so you can hear your own chat in the headphones. But something that really jumps off the page here when it comes to usability for these is the 48 hours battery life. It's actually 48 hours plus, so it could go even longer than 48 hours. I guess it depends on the volume and all that kind of stuff. But that, I think you'll agree, is pretty damn awesome. So with all that considered, I'm giving these an 8 out of 10. All right, now on to one of the most important categories of them all, is the sound quality. So what I can tell you about the sound quality here on the Pulse 3Ds is the soundstage is very wide. I would say out of all of these probably offer the best directional sound. The bass isn't too overpowering either, so Sony have done some fine tuning with the EQ here on these, and it shouldn't be a surprise because Sony originally are an audio company. Overall volume is very good. The fine details and nuances in the sound are also very clear, and they've done this without going too sharp with the high end. Sometimes headphones get a bit too high pitched and the sound can actually hurt your ears and maybe fatigue you over time. So I would say these have a really nicely balanced sound for PlayStation. So the Sonys, when it comes to sound quality, I'm giving them a solid 8 out of 10. So as you can see, the Astros are much bigger headphones and the ear cups are much bigger as well, and the sound actually feels bigger compared to the Pulse 3Ds as well. So the sound stage is even wider. The only thing about these is sometimes when people are behind you, it sounds like they're in front, and sometimes when they're in front, it sounds like they're behind. And the high frequencies, like I mentioned in the previous description, are a little bit too sharp on these, and maybe that can be adjusted if you buy the additional equipment for these. But I will say soundstage fantastic, fine details fantastic, directional sound not as good as the Sonys, but overall they're very good, so I'm giving them an 8.5 out of 10. Okay, now the Arctis 7P Plus, these are on par with the Sonys when it comes to the directional sound. These are just as good, but they're also on par with the Astros when it comes to soundstage and details, so that is a win-win. And I will say with these headphones, whilst playing Call of Duty, I could hear things happening further away. They were just way more noticeable, and I don't know if that's to do with the EQ tuning on these or whether it's the size of the driver or the quality of the driver or the materials used, but they do seem to be the most detailed out of the three that I've spoke about so far. So I'm giving these 8.5 out of 10. And now the Blackshark. So these have a really good soundstage. I would say just below the Astros and the Steelseries, but still maybe better than the Sonys. Details are fantastic. Directional sound is also very good. And they also have very good, well-rounded bass. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, that passive noise cancellation does help when it comes to sound quality, because you're not hearing anything else happening around you in the room. And that could be bonus points for the Razer, in my opinion. So I'm giving these an 8 out of 10. And then we have the Turtlebeach. These by far are the most bassy of any of them. The spatial sound is just as good as the Sonys and the Steelseries, so that's a big plus for these. I should also mention the details in these are very good. The strongest attribute of these headphones, in my opinion, must be the drivers, because the sound quality shines above everything else when it comes to the Turtlebeach. And for that reason, I'm giving them an 8.5 out of 10. So thank you for making it this far into the video. We're now going to do the mic test, and the mic quality you're hearing right now is the pad mic. So this is the benchmark for all the other mics. We've got my friend here, Remzi, on Call of Duty. He is going to be the adjudicator for this. So the ball is no longer in my court. And these scores for the mic test could be the make or break for some of these headphones when it comes to an overall winner. So Remzi, what do you rate the built-in mic on the pad?
I'm going to rate this about a 2 out of 10.
Is it that bad, really?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, so this is headset number 1. This is a mic test. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What do you think, Remzi? Out of 10?
About a 4.
All right, this is headset number 2. This is a mic test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you rate this out of 10?
About 6.
Okay, this is headset number 3. What is the mic quality like on this one?
I'm actually going to give this like a 7.5.
Really? That much better, yeah, than the last 2?
That much better. Very
Wow.
clear. There's no distortion.
Okay, headset number 4. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so this is headset number 4. This is a mic test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What do you give it out of 10?
Giving this one a 5.
Okay. And this is the 5th and final set of headphones. This is a mic test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What do you rate this one?
Easily an 8.5. It's the best of the bunch, this one.
Really? Okay. And guys, by the way, if you're looking for someone to troll on Call of Duty, Remzi's there all day for you. Just find him on Call of Duty. Anyway, all right. So there we have it. The Steelseries win overall. I am going to be sending back all of the other headsets and keeping these as my main PS5 headset until I find a better one. I do want to give an honorable mention to the Razer Blackshark. I think that would be my number 2 choice if I had to pick one. And I do want to mention the Pulse 3Ds are definitely the budget-friendly option, because you're getting a very premium sound, very high quality build, and they're future-proof as well, because 360 reality audio games is going to be more frequent in the future, and maybe the sound quality on the Sonys might actually be better in the long run than some of these other ones I've showed you today. And if you guys want to check out any of the prices on any of these headphones, there'll be affiliate links below this video. It took me ages to make this one, so if you got any value out of this at all, thumbs up would make my day, subscribe would make my month. And if you guys are looking for a way more affordable gaming headphone, check out these ones. These are the Exa E900 budget gaming headphones. These could be a good option for you. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one, so don't be late.